Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the last Epoch dev stream. My name is Mike, and I'll be your host today. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for the raid, McFluffin. I was possibly half a minute late, I think, so I think you got in here before I was here, but I appreciate that. We're still trying to finish off our monolith. This is the last one we have before we've got something for everything. So we've been pretty good. Llama, welcome back. You were on holiday, right? Glad to have you here. Have you had a chance to check out the dev build yet? Oh, we're getting pretty close to patch, guys. This is it's an exciting time right now, actually. I always love this, like just before patch, and like, you know, we're closing things out. A lot of really nice looking stuff always shows up right around this time, and it's nice. Nice bungalow on a farm in middle of nowhere. Nice. Woo. He's angry. Yeah, I think so. I've really enjoyed playing this build. Still having a ton of fun with it, but we've been using it for quite a while. So I think that as soon as the patch drops, we'll pick a new skill to focus on and a new class to play. I'm almost for sure going to be a Sentinel, I think, just because so much is happening with Void Knights. So I'll probably do a Void Knight build post-patch. But I'm gonna keep playing this because I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna keep this character well after we're done with it for streams. You're leveling with a redacted Pally, and now I'm in redacted. Nice. I believe it. Hi, Trickster. How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. If this happens to be your first time here, please ask any sort of questions you'd like. I will answer them. You got a question, just at me, and I will see it. Feeling pretty good today, though. Feeling pretty good. There's rumors of new glyphs coming. Those are some wild and outlandish rumors. I don't know who started that, but it's probably one of those things that started as speculation, and people were like, that seems reasonable. We do have lots of plans for the crafting system. It's not quite done yet, so we're not really making any changes to it this patch. Because it is stable. It's working pretty great right now. But it could work much greater. Yeah, September 3rd is the next release. You ain't got nothing on me. Here we go. Alright. All I can hear is just like Benny Hall whenever I have haste on. After multiplayer, what are you going to be tackling next? Well, I mean, we're gonna keep making like so there's lots of things that are just like always gonna be happening. So like new skills, new nodes for those skills that exist, rebalancing old skills, all those sorts of things will just be continual, ongoing thing. So basically the same thing for items. So we'll make new uniques, new base items, new sets, new other stuff. Will be just increasing the variety of all the different possibilities that there are for all the different categories that already exist. But then on top of that, we'll still be developing new in-game systems, new story content, new things to do. Like new things to do at the same time as doing story content or instead of. Like we'll just be expanding all sorts of things in the game. So it's multiplayer is not really a one and done thing either. Like there'll always be people working on multiplayer, making it better as we go. So even after we're confident in multiplayer and release it, we'll still be improving the performance of it, improving like what works with it, trying to add new features, new social features, things like that. So it's all ongoing, really. Just gonna slide out of there. How about minion size affix talents? There are several of those already. I know I fixed a bug with one of them recently. I don't know if it was a new node or not. I can't remember if it was in the current version where I was getting too much size gain. But yeah. Me and some friends are wondering when multiplayer is supposed to come. Will it happen soon? We do not have any specific information as to when multiplayer will arrive. I am sorry. I would love to be able to give you more concrete information, but I just don't have it. Sorry. Approximate time for patch drop, September 3rd. Patch September 3rd. I should put that in the title or something. Just like a little text box that shows up. Patch coming September 3rd. I'll do that pretty quick, actually. Any news on how Baldur's Wrath and Shadow Daggers is being handled? Could you be more specific? Like, we want them both to be strong options in the game, and I think they still are for several different build styles. Baldur's Wrath is not as the interaction with werebear is different. Like you can't be just earthquake spam bear that just all they do is spam earthquake over and over and over and over again. Because that was just silly. But it still works with werebear charge. I saw someone ask or like someone answered a question in the community a couple days ago, being like, they told us it's not going to work, and no, it's definitely still going to work. What's the biggest piece of news in your opinion of the new patch? I mean, we do like to save a lot. I know we tease a lot of things, but we like to save a lot of stuff for the patch notes because we want that to be an exciting thing. One of the biggest things is the next chapter of content. I mean, we haven't really released much in the way of details on that. We've teased the theme of it. So if you guys haven't seen, there's a little teaser video. Head on over to Discord, every social platform we have, and there's a little teaser video that announces the release date and gives you a little hint as to where the next patch is taking place. Getting a phone call. Those jams. Name that tune. Does anyone know? It is the cell phone ringtone of a video game character. An oft underappreciated video game character that frequently saves his day, comes to his brother's rescue all the time, and never gets any of the credit. Yeah. Yes, it's Luigi. It's Luigi's Mansion cell phone ringtone. When Professor Egad calls you. Okay, I'll answer some more questions here. Will the Shaman or Paladin get any changes or updates next patch? Yeah, not as not as heavy as they're going to be getting down the road, but there's definitely quite a few changes just across the board. So everyone's getting changes, but the major changes to Paladin are kind of we're saving those a little bit. Gonna come all at once. Will trading be a thing? We're still working out exactly how we're gonna handle trades in general. The multiplayer FAQ that we released 2 weeks ago now, I think, 2.5 weeks ago or so, covers in as much detail as exists out there right now how it's going to operate. So yeah, it's on our forums. It's one of the announcements or dev blogs or just multiplayer FAQ. It's also if you do ! multiplayer on our Discord, it gives you a link to it. That's got details for you. Any chance on an option that will make chat box persistent? There's a bunch of changes that are coming for the chat system, I think. Just a lot of little niceties, so I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's something we could look into. Head on over to our Discord and leave a suggestion. Would be a place where that gets tallied. Can controller users get some love? Absolutely. Yeah, there's a bunch of new controller updates coming for this patch. We teased some in the in a post recently that's got inventory management upgraded like tons. Like everything in here in these tabs is controller friendly now. Same with your stash; it's all controller friendly. Shops, gambling, all that stuff, and more is coming for sure. We're not doing every single panel at the same time because it does take quite a while to get each panel right, and we had to develop a new system to make even just the first panel work, and we got the first few panels working, and we're like, this is worth bringing out, so we're bringing out a partial system for it first, and that'll continue to get upgraded and made better as we go for sure. Outside of new cycles, do you guys have plans to organize races and such events? Absolutely. We've already done 2 races. They both went fantastically. We've kind of shifted our focus a little bit more back towards just development since then. But yes, we definitely want to do events, whether they're themed around like holidays or whether they're themed around like I don't know, just like patches, be all sorts of things. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing races and events of various sorts. Has there been any talk of letting us see affix ranges in game while crafting? I find myself needing to look up the ranges quite often to figure out what the better option is. It's yeah. I know we mocked something up at one point that had that in that panel. And I think I may have just taken a point out of something. Did this? Nope, just +1 max skellies. Interesting. Yeah, we'll be hot. A little hot there, but not too hot to handle. Yeah, that's a request I've seen brought up a few times about being able to see more specific affix range details in the crafting panel. It won't be. It'll have to be in the panel somewhere because it has to know what type of item you're putting it on, because the ranges change based on what slot it's in. So, for example, items put in, or affixes, like the same affix that you put in a chest piece is going to be, like here, T5, that was T3, still. So T3 is 39 to 60, and T5 has overlap there. Like, T3 can go up higher than, the top end T3 on a chest is more health than the low end T5 on gloves. How much of the passive tree for Void Knight and Necromancer are getting changed? I mean, so there's lots. It's hard to quantify because there's lots of nodes that get like little numerical changes, and like, does that really count as being changed that much? And then there's lots of nodes that are getting like functionality changes and just new nodes getting added, and some nodes getting removed, and some nodes just get moved around. So like, I don't know enough to put a number to it, but I'm gonna guess and say 30%, roughly. Could be way off. Honestly, the passives on the Sentinel didn't get that much change on the Void Knight tree, I don't think. It's especially with Void Knight, it's much more in the skills, because new skills getting added, old skills getting fully revamped as though they're new skills. Like, there's some skills that we kept maybe a node, maybe 2 nodes type thing for the whole tree. How's the work on the stats screen going? Great. It's pretty big hurdle when playing because it's difficult to intuitively follow how you should best scale damage. Yeah, it will not be this patch. It will be a later date. It is quite a large overhaul. We're just starting from scratch on it. And it's going to have a lot of information on there. So we had to figure out how we were going to organize that information a few times, because it's a lot. And every time we think we're like, oh, this will be good, and they're like, oh, but what about all of this information that needs to be in here somewhere? I actually just had a meeting this morning about it. But we're on to implementation now, so it's coming along. Why does 8-3 land on my birthday? I got 10 foils about it. It's because you're so fantastic, and we just thought it would be extra special for you. Yeah. It was actually going to be later, and we moved it up earlier just for you, so everyone can thank you for having it be as early as it is. Yeah. I'm just kidding, for the record. Has anyone asked about the new in-game systems? How far into development are those for you guys? It's still fairly early in development for the new in-game systems. They're nowhere near being like ready to bring out. The next one that's coming is like designed, and we've started to like prep for it. We're actually implementing it, but it's not in. Hi, Singing Games TV. It was the only ping there, so I thought I'd just say hi. still don't know why I pick up shards on this account. Like, it's just a reflex, but like, is that number actually going up? Yeah, the number's still going up. Okay. I do have some cool stuff for you today, though. Would you ever consider adding open prefix or open suffix to the loot filter as options? Yeah. I think that's probably a pretty good idea, actually. I mean, you could do it right now, I guess, with the tools. I was just thinking about how you make that happen without actually adding it. You could put that now. It would be a pain, but it's possible to make it. I think. Any ETA on Holy Skills rework? I mean, there's... I don't know if anyone said that there was a rework for that coming, because there's not like a specific Holy Skills rework. Paladin's getting a lot of love in the near future, not this patch. Judgment does have a lot of stuff coming for it this patch. Just the base functionality. It's not the... I would call those tip of the iceberg changes for Judgment, just because it's gonna help make it not suck, but it's not really gonna make it be the skill we want it to be. If that makes any sense. There was a problem with a piece of it not scaling properly, so it was not doing anywhere near as much damage as it should do. So it's gonna help a lot with just the raw damage output of it. Really enjoying the evolution of Last Epoch game. Will Last Epoch go online before multiplayer so we can start farming for keeps? No, like, multiplayer and online are the same thing. Yeah. I mean, you will get to keep the stuff you're playing with now if you're going to play offline in the future. Something about legendary items you can unveil here, that they're going to be super cool. They've gone through a lot of iterations. We've changed them a lot. Like, ideas we had for them 2 years ago are not the same thing that we're planning on doing now at all. They're way better now. It was gonna be fun, but now it's like I think it was there was a tipping point a little while ago where we really nailed down what it was gonna be, and everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what it's gonna be." So we're still working on that. How about shards being added to the filter? Yeah, like, there's tons of stuff that are going to be added to the filter still, for sure. The person who does most of the development work on the filter has been spending most of his time working on multiplayer recently, so we've slowed down on that for sure. I feel like there's something that's coming for the filter this patch, though. Could be wrong. There might not be anything this patch. I could look. Sorry, guys. I don't think there's anything coming for the loot filter. That little ding is the search filter returning nothing. Yep. There are no loot filter changes coming, I don't think. Sorry. We will continue to work on it, though. It's definitely not a done system. I feel like that's the sort of thing that'll get... Because there's so many little features we want to add to the loot filter still. There's... Like, I know something that a lot of people ask for is being able to put, like, the icons. Like that little orange icon that's right there. Or the, like, the green one. Sorry. That sound you hear is my son jumping above the... on the floor above me. Oh my god! Okay. Gotta take this down. Wow, those hurt. Alright, where were we? Other than axes, are any other item types getting implicit love in 8.3? Yeah. That post that showed the axes, well, some of the axes, which if you saw that post really early and then looked away, all of them changed because they weren't, the values weren't actually updated yet. So, there's a lot more going into there still. They're updated now though. And, this one. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it said on there at the bottom that more item types were coming. They're not done yet, so I don't want to say what they are just in case something doesn't get in there immediately, but I'd say at least one more item type will, item base type will get a full overhaul. And then maybe another one and a hotfix if it doesn't make the patch. But I think it will make the patch at the rate it's going. I think the models are all done, so that's the hard part. Is getting the 3D models in. But I might be able to tease some of those next week for you. Who is the best player on the EHG team? Who would you take on your party? That's a great question. Like, honestly, the people who play the most are probably the best. Trisoki knows things about the way the game works that no one else knows. But he doesn't have the most gameplay experience as anyone else because he's spent so much time developing. I mean, I'd probably take Reimer with me. For buds. You know, I like to hang out and have fun. We should have a tournament of some sort. Any ETA on Lost Memories? Been on the endgame portion of the website for a long time. Curious where you're at with it. It's still in early development, I would say. Did not die. Ran away. Coward. Ever heard of a little known game called Chrono Trigger? Yeah. Do you know what the name of the ship in Chrono Trigger was? Do you know what the name of one of the main zones in Chrono Trigger was? UI scaling coming soon? Nope. Any updates to Summon Bear, Summon Sabertooth, Scorpion Tree? Not many. They're definitely going to come all at once. We like to take like a whole bunch of skills and rework them all together so that we can really get a good synergy between them. One of the reasons why the Rogue in general feels really fleshed out and feels really good to play, even though it has the fewest skills of any class in the game right now, is because those skills were all made within months of each other at most, and they're all designed to work really well together. So it doesn't feel like you're playing a hodgepodge of individual skills. It feels like you're playing a cohesive build much more frequently. So that's part of the thing we're trying to do because we're taking a bunch of Sentinel and Void Knight skills and reworking them all at the same time. And adding some at the same time, just so it's like this bundle that comes together. Like a lot of them have huge interactions with each other. That's one of the things that I noticed from the CTs who've been testing the build, is they've commented several times on how there's so much synergy between the different skills in the Void Knight Sentinel trees now, which I think is really important, and I think that makes them feel a lot better. So when we go back to do a big pass on like druid stuff and a lot of the Beastmaster summons, that they'll get a lot of, because Summon Bear and Sabertooth are very, very old skill trees and extremely lacking. They're two of the worst skill trees in the game and have been slated for reworks for a very long time. Oh, God. Okay, come out here. Let's try and kite him out, because I don't want to deal with that in the corner. You gonna come? Okay, thanks, bud. Let's go. Nice. All right. Ooh. Hiya. Yeah. I'll take it. There have been a lot of questions in game about accessibility options, font sizes, colorblind mode, subtitles, that sort of thing. Input on this, it's all coming. It's a lot to I do like this. It's a lot to get right. We want to make sure we do get it right. But it's coming. We've had someone that we've been sort of like waiting for them to actually come and join us for a while now, that's going to be in charge of a lot of that stuff, and he's with us now. So let's do a little crafting on this. Let's see what we can do. Okay, we're just gonna go. We need some health. I think hybrid health is the most efficient one. Go. How's the roll on that? Above average. I think int is going to be the most valuable thing we can actually just put on here. Damaging fracture. We lost 2 on the hybrid health. Unfortunate. I don't think those are actually better, and they've got so much move speed. It's unfortunate. Is it safe to assume that there will be a wipes before launch? No. Kinda? It's a weird question. We get this question a lot, and strictly speaking, the answer is no. But after I say why, you'll be like, well, it kind of is a wipe. So, the characters you have right now are considered offline characters because they're stored on your computer. And we will never bring those characters onto our multiplayer servers. But when we do have characters, when we do start multiplayer, we don't, unless there's something that goes wrong, we don't really plan to do a wipe. It's possible that a wipe might happen. But we'll do our best to avoid that. The plan right now is when we go from multiplayer to, multiplayer's out, we're still in beta, to launched, we'll take all the characters, put them in like a standard league type thing, and start the ladder fresh. So people who do play just starting on day one won't be at a disadvantage, but stuff you do in beta won't be just gone. Now, that is not to say that there will likely be I guess there will be at least one wipe probably. When we do, we'll probably do a test weekend at some point type thing, where it's just like, let's crash the servers, guys, and see what happens, you know? With like, we'll just open the floodgates and grab a bunch of data. And honestly, those characters will probably get wiped, but it won't be that much stuff. It'll just be a test. And if we're doing that and we plan to wipe those characters, we will be clear before starting it that we plan to wipe the characters. Yeah. Because we don't like to have the, like, I thought I was going to keep it all and it's just gone now. That feeling sucks. Been there too many times. Whew! That was a big one. That was a real big one. Let me get caught up here. I think I'm a little behind. Wow. Thank you very much. Dario has gifted 20 subs to the channel. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. Anyone who it's your first time here, we are streaming for charity, so all of the money gathered at the stream goes directly to whatever our charity of the month is. This month it is Above My Head, as always. International Animal Pet Rescue. International Animal Rescue. I'm so sorry I don't know the actual name. It's Above My Head. They save animals. It's fantastic. We're going to mute that for a second while this goes nuts. Thank you so much. Congrats to anyone who got one of those. Very cool. What's the charity for next month? I do not know what the charity for next month is. It gets chosen pretty close to the start of it, like days before we decide. And usually I just get told, and I go grab a little image from their website and slap it on the stream. I don't even think we tell them until we give them the money at the end of the month. Probably should, shouldn't we? Okay, I'm gonna go back. I missed a ton of questions. I'm sorry, guys. I get too caught up in playing. It's really a problem, right? Did you ever get an extra rare item during the Friday stream? I've got items that I know people really struggle to find. Like I found a smoke weaver, I think, last week. That's something that people struggle to find quite a bit. I found some really nice exalted items that are just primo. Those boots I just found were pretty good, actually. Kind of botched them though. I don't know if this was ever asked, but is there any character, NPC, etc. for the last Epoch which you voice acted? No, my voice isn't in there at all. I know we've joked a lot about doing, and I have no idea if this will actually happen or not, but I think it'd be hilarious to do like an optional sound pack or something that like the sounds are just the people on the team having fun with it, you know? Like even just something as simple as like fireball. It's just like someone who's just sitting there going, I don't know, probably a terrible fireball sound, but you know what I mean. I'd love to voice a character though, something minor, something where I wouldn't have to like re-up it a bunch. I don't have the recording studio for it though. Oh, hot, 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 hot. There, I voiced that. Flip myself back here. Who in the team would win a race to 100? I'm not sure, honestly. I like all the people that do a lot of QA stuff have so much more experience than a lot of us that are like anyone on the art team typically, or anyone who's like, oh, we got all sorts of stuff happening here. I turned off notifications. Friend Squirrel has used 100 bits to hype train for cheering. Wonderful. Thank you. Good stuff going off. An actual Typhoon is resubbed for 3 months. We're going to shake down Travelers. Spin to win. Yeah. Warpath's really great now. Another 100 bits from a Friend Squirrel. Thank you very much. Went for a short nap at 6 p.m., woke up at 10 p.m. What are your thoughts on that? I think you're probably not getting enough sleep at night in general, or possibly you're exercising a lot. The Foreign Hunter, another 100 bits subs. Oh, Mao Max has gifted some subs. Wow, this was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Congrats to anyone who got one of those. We're on a roll here. This is fantabulous. Very cool, guys. Is there going to be a secret level in Last Epoch where we can talk to the avatars of the dev team? Well, if I told you, then it wouldn't be much of a secret now, would it? And TNY has gifted 5 subs to the channel too. Thank you very much. That's fantastic, guys. That was great. The animals thank you. All right, we've got stuff here. Any chance there could be a temporary mechanic for a cycle that basically fuses Last Epoch and Factorio together? I don't think so. Maybe. A little factory engine building sim. The guy. So I used to do a lot of. We used to host a bunch of friends of me. Would host this gaming convention every year in Victoria. I mean, like, I helped a lot day of, and like set up, tear down, that sort of stuff, and like ran a couple booths, but I didn't actually do much of the planning stuff. A lot of the other guys were way more involved in that. But there was almost always a giant Factorio server running. The whole LAN party, it was great. Usually a 3-day event. Tons of fun. Is there? Oh, I went through that. Yup, it's way better now. Nice. Oh, good. Golly, Miss Molly, we're good. Okay. When do you project we'll get more endgame content? I don't have a timeline for you on it. When it's ready. Hopefully soon. We're working on it. There's things like there's new uniques that can be only found in the monolith that are coming out next patch. Like in some sense that's a little bit more. There's new zones for the monolith. There's improvements to existing zones in the monolith. So there's updates and things like that coming. But I wouldn't call that like new endgame content really. I don't know. Maybe. What's my favorite new unique that I've seen so far? The art, yours. Hands down, the art was yours. Like no questions asked. That I think is the best art we've had yet for an item in the game, and I am quite confident. So that's one of my favorites for that reason. We got another 5 from Candy Rocket. Thank you very much. Wow. This is so cool. I don't know what to say, guys. Thank you. Oh, what's this? There's a new unique dagger coming, and oh my god, we just got a ton more. I think my favorite unique coming is the unique dagger because we only had one before, and now we have more, so that's fantastic. Thank you to Zakar's Bay. That looks like 10 to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. I'm not scrolled down all the way, so I don't see the, like, they've done 10. I really got to catch up here. Mention of changes to the monolith in 8.3. What new types of echoes, rewards? Yeah, there's, there's lots of fun stuff coming for the monolith. I don't have details for you yet. There'll be a blog post about it though. If I'd ever wanted to put my voice in a game, I'd love to be that one annoying voice that everyone would hear, unavoidable, and also be annoying as something like not enough currency, not enough mana, you require additional pylons, or something like that. Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Don't need to listen, Navi. I know what you're gonna say. Sorry. I don't know the control there. I don't know what came over me. Can all or some unique items be target farmed? Or does unique drop only come from enemy? Lots of them come from target farmable spots. So like each monolith boss has a set of unique items that it can drop. We're also changing how those unique sets work. Like the sets, the wrong word. Unique items. Some of them actually are sets, but group of unique items that they can drop. We're changing the drop ratios on there because there was always it felt a little annoying where there was one that was ultra common, and you're doing it and you're like, I've killed this one boss 18 times and I've got 18 copies of the same unique. So we're shifting the ranges around a little bit there. So there's a fourth unique for each boss coming in, and it's going to be that this could change, but this is the way it is right now, where there's 2 that are really common and they're equal rarity to each other, and then there's a third one that is quite rare or more rare, and then a fourth one that is also rare that's available only in Empowered. I think that's the way it is. Both the rare ones might be Empowered only. I think it's only one of them. And that makes a world of difference for just getting the same one over and over again. I love this Scorpion. Changes the elements. It's so great. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. I am overburdened. I'm not a man of many pockets. In terms of monolith improvements, have y'all considered UI elements to highlight certain reward nodes? We are changing a little bit with this, but like, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. We're trying to make it a little bit more clear if it's like a unique or set item in these, because right now like this is for unique, and when you're zoomed out all the way, it's real hard to see what it is. Even if you're halfway, it's a little unclear. So we're changing some stuff there. There's little UI improvements in various places coming for this. There's also improvements for things like the arena will now show you the number of waves you're in the monolith arena, sorry. And things like that. So there's lots of little updates coming. Any thoughts on letting uniques be fractured so that their mods can be combined at a low percentage on another item? Yeah, we've definitely considered that as an option. I can't remember the reason why we're not doing that, but there was definitely some reasons why. I mean, the main reason is just that a lot of the mods that we put on unique items, we put there because they're combined with certain other mods. So like, we'll be like, this is really overpowered and amazing, but the rest of the item does basically nothing. And it's like, if there's one mod that's crazy powerful, we have to put it with a bunch of other stuff that's less powerful just to keep the whole item balanced. And if you can pull that mod off and just put it with anything you want, it can become really strong. So we're still working on exactly how things like that could happen, possibly, if we wanted to. But for now, it's not. There'd have to be some other system change that would go with it. I guess like the nodes that let you reset the tree, or nodes. Oh, like you want to search the. I understand what you're saying. We actually had a search mocked up originally, and we took it out. It's not been put back in. I don't know if it will be. Oh, I just mean like give us a checklist that would make the rewards we want, say like idols or exalted, more visible. Oh, like almost like a filter for the monolith to be like, show me. Like, I guess what you're asking for is a search field again. Really? Got any of them leaks? Just call me a 30-year-old boat in disrepair because I'm leaky all over. Okay, that was just terrible. Let's, yes, I have some leaks. Distraction. Oh, come on. That was close. Alright. Because I kind of teased you a little bit with it before. Here is the second. Like you're like defense for 80-year-old full of leaks. Oh. Distraction. Here's a dagger. It's a shiny dagger. It's a sparkly dagger. Oops. I was going to open it on my other screen at the same time just so I could see it. This window is humongous. Why is that window so gigantic? There we go. Because that's the version on screen right now is tiny for me and I can't really see the preview of it. Big complaint, the Maruna so-called ogres do not at all look like Shrek. Yeah, we tried to license them from DreamWorks, but they just weren't having it. They're like, it's not on brand. No, we didn't actually do that. But yeah, that would be a funny mod. And I know people put Shrek into Breath of the Wild as the, I can't remember what they're called right now, but the giant ogre-looking things. Hinox. There we go. Yeah, this dagger's pretty sweet, actually. You could say it's shocking how cool it is. No? Okay. You could. Did I go the wrong way again? It might go the wrong way. It looks like it. Come on, party people, let's go. Bring your green hat. Okay, let's fight some bees. Alright. We've even got uniques that have of a new, I think it's a new base type. Like the specific base type has never been in a unique before. But the base type's already in the game. Like the sub base type has never had a unique before. That I know people have asked for many times. Speaking of Maruna ogres, not looking like Shrek, there we are. Quiet, what base type do you think it is? Does Lagan prefer to eat at Krusty Krab or the Chum Bucket? I think he'd go for a Krabby Patty. It's not Solar Embracers, nope. Wrong base type. If someone guesses the subtype, I'll show you the item. Thoughts on endgame crit versus dot builds, where crit builds deal with crit avoidance, dodge, armor, where dot bypasses all of these. Yeah, there are lots of things that can really throw a wrench in a crit style build. I think they generally have much spikier damage that can end up doing a lot of work quickly and usually works through content a little bit faster, I think. I know there's been a lot of calls recently to make specifically Bleed and Ignite feel more unique and interesting than just a dot, a weak dot compared to Poison. We're still looking at how best to do that because we do want it to feel unique and interesting and like a distinct gameplay style instead of just Bleed being a physical version of Ignite and Ignite being a fire version of Bleed, you know? So we're still trying to find that niche for those builds so that they're fun, exciting, powerful, unique. Are there going to be any improvements, expansions to time travel tunnel VFX? Yeah. Yes. Definitely. It's actually our third one, I think. Maybe only the second one we ever released, actually. It's gone through a few iterations, but it'll definitely be improved upon. I think one of the big things that'll happen with it is it'll become different based on the era you're going from to, and like this is speculation because we haven't actually done any of this yet, but I think that might happen. I know people ask quite frequently why it doesn't load, because it used to load in that, but full proper async loading is not really possible for scene transitions yet. So we would end up with this stuttering in the middle, and we got tons of people trying to alt-tab in the middle of it when it started to stutter, or sometimes even lock up for even 2 seconds. And lock up, it just stopped while the scene was actually loading. And we had just inundated with bug reports that, like, I always freeze during the zone transition for the time travel event. And all it was just had to wait 2 seconds and it was fine. But we got so many bug reports about it, like the day we released that we just immediately hotfixed it out. Do I have a personal favorite damage type, either thematically or mechanically speaking? I almost always gravitate towards fire builds. I really like them, just in general. I really like playing red and magic as well, so I mean that might have something to it. Why not give Ignite bonus damage when hit by a fire skill? Again, giving the burns or scorched effect be only dot that would be double procced if it existed, fits the theme of fire. Yeah, there's some things there, like, we don't want to just give it fire pen, you know, because that's just poison. I personally would want to work in something themed around spreading, like, you know, like fire spreads on its own, like things that are in contact with each other that are on fire catch fire. That's where I would personally want to go with it. There are improvements to these zones that I know everyone loves. The spires. I actually really like the spires. But there's a bunch of improvements to this that I think people will like as well. Will there be any account shared completion for current future game systems? Maybe. We don't have any planned immediately right now, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. Yeah. We are doing some stuff because we know that going through the monolith, and there's a bit of a problem right now where when you complete one and you're at, let's say, like 200 corruption, and you do the boss or whatever, and then you suddenly go to another one and you're at 0 corruption, suddenly like the difficulty just plummets, and it doesn't feel great when that happens. So we're trying to work. We have worked in a way to, if you're like coming from a high corruption one, you can bump the corruption up really fast. Make bleed do more damage per stack per percent of missing health. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Like the lower health you are, the more damage it deals, so it like finishes things off faster. I like that. That's thematic. I know we tried to work in some stuff specifically with bleed around the raptor. I think there's some cool mechanics in there too. Hi, nice game, guys. Gameplay feels kind of clunky. Thanks for your feedback. If you want to leave feedback where it will get noticed by people who are recording feedback, I would suggest going to our Discord or forums. And if you have specific instances that can help us make it better, we always appreciate that. Buff spires. I love a bit of panic mixed in. I mean, they're still terrifying. It's a little less oppressive. Mike, got any of them hammer throw, shield throw leaks? There's not much happening with either of those skills. There's some new uniques in the pipe that will likely be very interesting for people who like to play those types of builds. I know one of the supporters has one that's we're working on it right now. That's in that general theming area that it's gonna be great. I'm really excited for that one actually. When multiplayer's going live, when it's ready. Will there be T10 rolls in the game? My OCD can't handle max 7. For now, it's staying at 7. Yep. Just remember, 5 out of 7, perfect score. On the topic of dots, feeling more unique, might exsanguinate be some kind of mechanic for bleeds? Like more bleed stacks, the faster the bleed ticks down, just spitballing. Yeah, that's that sort of thing where it like changes based on the number. I mean, that's fairly similar to poison as well. Like scaling with the number of stacks is like it kind of boils down to a very similar mechanic to poison. Which isn't terrible. We just want to try and keep them as distinct as we can. Will there be any way to have cross progression between characters from monoliths? Maybe not planned on it right now, because if you guys do seasons leagues, it feels like there will be quite some work to do if you want to create multiple characters in there. Some kind of cross progression. Yeah, we haven't quite got there yet. It's possible, but for now, like, at least this patch, it's not there. Are there any new melee skills coming for the Primalist? Not this patch, but yes, we do have, I mean, in kind of a weird underhanded way that's going to make you guys question what I'm saying, there's like 4 new melee skills coming for the Primalist, I think. Maybe only 3, actually. But skills that will show up in here directly, I think there's only 1 more. Yeah, how many melee skills are related to transforms? Yeah, you got it. All but 1. Alright, what do we get? Anything juicy? It's not bad. The weak sauce drops. I will roll again. Is there any instant hit spells coming to the Primalist? Instant hit spells. Aside from maybe Veil Blast on Spriggan form and Earthquake, there's no insta hit spells. They're all either dot or duration. Yeah, there is a lot of dot stuff. We try and theme the Druid Primalist spells around like a nature theming. That's really the main thing. And when you're like talking about theming, harnessing like the power of nature to do stuff, it quite often ends up revolving around like things that happen over time, I guess you could say. Yeah. There is still I mean, there's a Warcry in spell mode is a hit. There you go. Nailed it. Has there been any class that you've had especially challenging time balancing? I mean, none of them I would say have been overly easy. But no, all of them are about the same, difficulty-wise, I'd say. Actually, no, Acolyte's definitely been the hardest. It's so swingy. We're like, we'll lower this number by 10% and do nothing else. Suddenly it's completely unplayable. And it's just like, alright, we'll bring it back up 6%. Alright, it's overpowered, broken now. A lot of the mechanics there are quite good. Yeah. Druid summon apple tree. Apple tree drops apples on enemies' heads. There's an apple tree just outside the window here, and I was in the garden picking some kale the other night, and like an apple fell from the tree and landed like right beside me in the garden, just barely missed me. It was a little surprising. I jumped. Almost stepped on a squash. Any thoughts concerning Sorc word generation? Yeah, it's okay. That's been hard to balance too, actually. Their largest source is mana spent gained as ward, which compared to Acolyte's ward on minion death is considerably far more lacking for ward generation. Yeah, there was. I actually think that they need more ward retention than ward generation right now. Is what I think is the issue. But I'm not sure. Lots of good stuff there. Probably, I don't know. Not looking. Did you come up with a new theory of gravity? Because that's what happens when apples falls on you? Yes, my theory of gravity is... I can't think of anything good to say. Everything drops for a reason. Because some programmer out there told it to. If you have 300 mana Meteor, you generally get about 800 ward out of it, which is a huge mana investment. However, Acolyte can get more out of a single zombie cast for less mana spent downtime until further generation. Yeah, maybe that might just be that then maybe Acolytes are getting too much mana, I guess. I don't know. Or too much ward. I know that mages, specifically Sorks, had a lot more ward generation very recently, and it caused a lot of problems. Which is why I'm suggesting that the retention might be the better way to go. Cool, like ward retention based on missing mana value, not percentage. That'd be cool. It was an exalted apple. Ah, well, I ate it. It was delicious. Does that mean I am exalted now? Is the increased damage per mana spent on skill multiplicative or additive on sorcerer specialization passives? It's like, I don't know if it's worded as more or increased, but if it's more, it's multiplicative. If it's increased, it's not multiplicative. It's additive with other increases. After the apple skill, are we going for shaman universal gravitation? Apples falling on enemies' heads always stun enemies. I could get behind some weird retention behind missing mana or mana spent recently. Goes with their whole theme of power based around mana spending. Yeah, we're trying to really tie mana into Sorks. Mages in general, really. Feeling spicy enough to give a rough number of LE units soldiering EA. I do not know that number at all. There are websites that estimate that on Steam. We'll give you a way more accurate number than I will. I don't know. I find myself much more caring about, like, how much people are enjoying the game, or not enjoying the game, which is, I try not to pay attention to as much as I can. But like, I would rather one person play the game and love it than 10 people play the game and just kind of meh. If that makes any sense. That was close. We almost bought it. We almost bought it. No just means you're gonna go take a T7 exalted poop. Any chance for a skill similar to Chrono Trigger Magus' Dark Matter? When you get a floating triangle area, giving a sort of portal to a starry dimension, basically star dimension stuff. Maybe we try. So like, there's already things like Black Hole, right? Which is probably the closest thing we have. Which I know the VFX for that will get. We have some kind of weird long-term plans for that skill. but we really like it, so we're keeping it where it is for now. What if we hate the game because we love it so much? I mean, okay, I guess I want people to have really passionate emotions about it. There we go. How about that? Is the new Chimera model coming in 8384? The one that was teased and looks absolutely shocking, I want to say is the best way to describe it. I believe that one's in 8.3. I'm pretty sure all the stuff that's been teased recently is in 8.3. Who made the Blade Dancer low health passive and they're still employed by EHG? I have no idea who made it. Can I blame Judd? Pop, pop. Will the final boss be off Eterra and instead be an abstract, trippy background like Lavos or any Earthbound fight? It might be. I don't know. I'm not in the boss design team. I make new functionality for them pretty frequently when Sam asks me to, but I don't do the encounter design stuff. I had to uninstall LEs so that I wouldn't burn myself out. Lasted a week and a half. Send help. Take my energy. Rap is ongoing still. Which god do you follow? Eterra, Lagan, Rai, Majasa, or other? I don't know. Do I have to pick? I'll pick Oribus. I think I saw someone mention, so I've got actually 2 uniques to show you still. And I think I saw someone say the right base type, but they didn't put a subtype with it for either of the subtypes. If I open this, is it gonna just, okay, cool. Oh! That's what I get for not looking. Alright, as recompense for dying, I shall avail you with another leak. Would you like leak 1 or leak 2? Leak 2, alright. Here is leak 2. It is a unique idol. This is not the art for it. We just slapped some art in here for this leak. We have specific unique art for this item. But it is a unique idol. So have some fun with that. That's right, there's still design space for us to explore. I'm gonna take some like a little bit easier nodes here. Does this, so someone said about Sentinel, does it say Sentinel specific on it anywhere? Will we ever get non-rectangular idols like the Z piece from Tetris? we've played around with the idea. The UI is a nightmare to make it work for that. Like, all of the UI stuff is built such that things are a block. Like, it is X by Y big, you know? The entire UI system is built on that premise. So a lot would have to change to make that possible. It's not impossible. It might happen. We'll see. So that's basically an infinite damage scaling item. I can only sock. I can sock it only on bosses. No. Does this mean I can use it on every class? I'm pretty sure this is not class locked item. Let me get some confirmation. Is anyone else here? No requirement, guys. Yeah, Primer said that. It is not a class locked item. We'll use the center block square for 1x1 idol in the future. I mean, we might change the shape of it overall, but we very intentionally have that blocked off spot in the middle. It might get included with some sort of mechanic in the future, possibly. Who knows? That is something I would be confident saying as someone who is not working on the game. Some people, wait, it's an idol? Yes, it's an idol. It is a unique idol. Unique 1x1 idol when? There are no unique 1x1 idols coming in this patch. I can tell you that for sure. There are a bunch more buff bar icons coming this patch. I did a ton of work on that yesterday, actually. So there'll be like various things that make sense to have buff icons on your bar for. Let's got more of those coming. I'm working on one that'll show shades, and I'm so because shades share a max count, I'm kind of wondering if it should just be one icon or two icons. I haven't really decided yet. Like just your shade count. So it's pretty rare that people use both shades simultaneously, so like I don't know. Any plans on making unique items limited to one equipped rather than multiples of the same? Yeah, not yet. Usually if we're making something that needs to be balanced around only able to have one of them equipped, we try and make the like the thing it's getting only makes sense to have one equipped. So it's kind of like, okay, well, why would I have two of those? Okay, how about this idol shape? It's a 3x3 box, but there's a hole in the center, so you could put it around the center blocking spot for current idle space. It still doesn't work, unfortunately. We still have to redo a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, it would be nice if there's a chance to get one slot from idle system or something else as a reward from every from a very time-consuming objective like reaching level 100 or something. Other quest objectives, yeah. So you don't have to go through the storyline to complete the second side quests in order to get the rewards that are unlocking your idle inventory extra passives. That's a request we see frequently enough. Yeah, the buff stacks to 20 max. I don't know if you guys missed that, but that was... There it is. We'll see it again for a quick sec. I have heard that Infernal Shade is getting some changes. Can you clue us in on to what these changes are? Haven't heard of this myself. So I don't know if that's a bad rumor or a phishing attempt or miscommunication, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. How democratic are design decisions? Do you guys hold votes on certain things, or is there a person who hears multiple sides of an argument and makes executive decisions for final numbers and mechanics? There's definitely like a combination of all those things. So sometimes, like we do have a company structure, and so there are people who can overrule other people type thing. Unbelievably rarely that happens. Usually it's just a debate discussion until we agree on something. That's almost always what happens. Sometimes smaller decisions are just sort of handled by one or two people. They just sort of happen. Sometimes they'll get a gut check, like someone will say, "Oh, I'm trying to fix this problem. This is what I'm probably going to do with. Anyone have any thoughts?" And someone will be like, "Yeah, good idea," or, "Oh, have you thought about doing this instead?" And that'll be sort of the end of it. There are a couple people who have a lot more ownership over balancing and design decisions. And then there's people who have like a lot more ownership over specific portions of it. So like I spend a lot of time working on design and balance and implementation of skills, but almost zero time spent on design, balance, and implementation of enemies. And then there's people who are doing both all the time. It's rare that we end up actually like almost never like officially voting on something though. Like that almost never happens. Yeah, but if you get more than one, the percent increase stacks, right? I'm pretty sure it does. Or you can get that middle one removed, like for next death. So you get rewarded but more power, but you can lose it. It's like a temporary buff reward. Sorry, I do not know what you're talking about. A ring! A hollow finger ring. It's actually kind of cool to get Max Skeleton out there. It's basically like 10% more minion damage, really, because there's 57 increased minion damage. It's 10% more, because it, yeah. It might just be straight up better. Do this. Sorry, guys. What happens to my res if this goes on? Still fine. Let's wear it. Let's get an extra minion. One more minion. Is enemy diversity going to come exclusively through campaign, or will you eventually make monolith or endgame system only enemy types? I mean, if we can't, there's a lot of new enemies coming this patch. I don't know how many, but there's quite a few, and so every time we make enemies for new chapter content, we do add them to the monolith as well. And then like we want to, like, as we go, add more enemies for earlier areas too, so it's not like the areas are just done and we'll never add more enemies to them. I'd say it's more likely we'd see variants of enemies that exist as monolith exclusive things. I'd say it's more likely that we would see more content coming to the game that would then just bring those enemies to the monolith as well. But I mean, it's possible we could see, there's like, I guess, exclusive bosses, so there kind of is enemies already in the monolith that are exclusive. Maybe. Speaking of new enemies, here's I got a little clip for you. Okay, we'll do it after this one. I got a little clip that shows at least one new enemy, probably more. Now I don't have even... There we go. I want 6 archers. So I have 11 skeletons now? What have I done? What have I done? Can we get a missing now added to enemies at some point? No, it has to make sense. I still remember finding that for the first time. You're like a little kid, and your friend tells you about it, and like, no way, yeah way. And you do it, and it corrupts your game, and you're sad. You start over again. I mean, it's never happened to me. Ever since the mental shift with Necro allowing more passive play styles, any thoughts on revisiting the ideas on Thorns type builds to make them more viable in the future? Possibly? I don't know, Thorns is a tough nut to crack and actually have it be fun and work, I guess, as more than just a, like, I don't know. I feel like as soon as Thorns is like a really strong endgame viable strat, it's like, because it's just such a like, there needs to be an interaction there, I think, to make it more than just, okay, I'm going to take the build where I literally stand there and do nothing. And I guess things are getting, with Necromancer, we're giving a little bit more passive options, but it's not, I wouldn't say the focus is shifting to that. Guess I have to cap poison resist finally? Yes, you will have to cap poison resist. That is one thing I did see a lot of the CT saying, like, oh my god, I have to cap poison resist now. Is this blocked? Yes, that's funny. Alright, Desecrated Flesh. Come on. There we go. I don't know if we're going to make it. Are we going to make it? We're close. belt. Any chance for elemental minion builds? Much bigger on those than undead personally. I mean, not so much in the Necromancer side of things. I'd say that's probably a bit of a gap initially in our archetypes. We do have a little bit of that happening in Druid more than anywhere else, I would say, or Beastmaster, sorry. But like if you're talking about like straight up elementals like Jinns or Genies or that style more where it's like I'm thinking like WoW Voidwalker style, and I think it's more like Fire Golem D2 style, like where it's like a single element and the thing is made of that element type thing. That does exist in Avalanche Tree already a little bit. Yes, Fire Elemental and Storm Elemental and WoW are much closer, you're right. I mained a Warlock, so that's where my mind goes immediately when I think about WoW stuff. Oh my goodness. Regroup! Charge! Yeah, this Poison Spire is a little scurry. Dude, love the music down here. Okay. You silly little spire. I shall show you who is the one that is boss. Eek! It's you! It's you! Wow, that thing's beefy. There's a beefy boy right there. Ooh, what's this? A lot of health. Any chance we'll see more support for bonuses for applying ailments to yourself in the future? Maybe. Yeah, I do really like that. I know people really didn't like the or maybe don't. I actually don't know how people feel about it currently, but the boots that shock yourself. I really like that style. There we go. Get my armor back. And there's some that make you bleed, and I think there's one that lights you on fire. I like those. I think they're really cool when you can build around them. So when you can like, say you're igniting yourself frequently, but you have something that like, some effect that really makes you take not much fire damage at all. So like a way to mitigate the downside through builds. I think that having that style of gameplay interaction is really nice. I'm gonna die here. Yep. Tales of my survival have been grossly exaggerated. Oh, Dreamthorn, nice. Yeah, that's right. Who lived? I lived. What of it? Okay, I got a little clip to show you. It's clip show time. Oh yeah, that experience. Give me that experience. Give all the experience unto Mike.
Feel my wrath.
Feel my wrath. Are you guys always going to make sure that content creators will be safe from DMCA, from ambient sounds and music in last Epoch? Twitch getting harsher these days. Yeah, like, so we only ever put music and sounds in the game that we have full licensing for. Like, if it's something that we've, like a sound effect that we bought from somewhere, we've fully licensed it for everything that we do with it, which is very few and far between now, if any, at this point, actually. And then music, I'm almost positive 100% of the music in the game right now is 100% original. So, and like Epoch owns all of that outright. So we are very careful to make sure that things like, so we don't get in trouble down the road with anything like that, because we do want to make sure that people can stream the game and have our music playing, and there's no problems with that. I know that's been an issue that's come up a few times in other games, and it makes a lot more sense in other games for that to happen, because they're more set in a world that's more similar to the real world, or the more contemporary world that we live in. But yeah, this is, yes, we got your back covered, don't worry. Can we get debuff icons under enemy health bars at the top to show, for example, how many stacks of shock they currently have, and a visual indicator of how long until they expire? Oh, hot. Maybe we're still working on it. Up until very recently, we thought we weren't going to be able to do it at all. We think we figured out a way to do it. We're still working on implementing it. It's not done yet. It's possible. All right, here we go. Here's a little sneak peek at an enemy combat encounter scenario from... Let me just make it bigger here. Y'all don't need to see my face, do you? Center on screen. Okay, here we go. So this is Rogue combat in the new chapter. You do? Here, oh wait, this way. You can see me. I'm still here. Hi. I guess we don't have audio going for it, so the clip's kind of muted. But yeah, there we go. You want his hat? I'll buy you a hat. A really big one. Admiral. Alright, there we go. I'm going to play it through at least once fully. Time for some poison res. Yes, my biggest piece of advice that I can give you heading into the new chapter content is this will no longer do. Get yourself some poison res, or you will be wrecked. Last Epoch hoodies when? Yeah. I know we've talked about getting some more like merch stuff out. Right now it's all the stuff that has gone out for backers up to this point has just gone through someone's house, you know? Like it's it's not maybe it's not their house anymore. Maybe you got moved actually. Either way, it's like we don't have a proper facility. Someone who's like professionally does merch, doing merch, which we need to. So we'll likely be looking for a partner that will be able to like manage and distribute and do the storefront and all that sort of stuff for it, because there's people who that's just like that's the whole business model. That's what they do. And that's what they're good at, and it'll be a better experience for everyone. Because it's more about getting the merch out than making money off of the merch. Oh, come on! Okay, I can see what type of monolith this is gonna be. It's gonna be one where I almost die like 80 times. This is not good. Oh my god, this is not good. Okay, guys, come on. Like, let's just... Ugh. No! Don't get stuck! Quick, someone join my game, help me! Mike's learning the hard way. What am I doing wrong? Standing in the fire? It's usually standing in the fire. Oh my god. All of my minions just got nuked from orbit. Oh, that's a close one. Yeah, it's a close one. Oh. No ability to reposition Necro army by using transplant? No, it is not like teleport. It does not reposition your army for you. That would be a cool node on it, though. There's probably some issues with that. Go to your death. But save me from mine. Alright. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Are any of them dying? I may have hit a bit of a wall here, guys. Yep. I'm not sure if anything's actually dying right now. I wasn't gonna stick around in there. This is my punishment for 2.5 months without an update. I take it gladly. A glorious death. Alright. As is tradition since I died, I got one more for you. Last one, last leak. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. It's another unique idol. If I die in hardcore, the patch drops early. I will not be playing hardcore then. I'll read it out. Every third fire spell you cast is guaranteed to crit, but has 36% less critical strike multiplier. Interesting. And then increase fire spell damage and ignite chance. How's that with channeling spells? I mean, if they can crit, like normal. And he uses a multiplayer testing. Nope. When it's ready. Oh, come on. Wait, what? What did I miss? Unique idol? Yeah, unique idol. There's 2 of them. Did you miss the other one? You have to go back and watch the tape. Were unique idols always planned, or something you guys decided to go ahead on? We'd always had the idea of like, okay, we're gonna do unique idols. We're not sure exactly when or how or all those sorts of things, but it was sort of always, I guess, implied internally that yeah. I need to take a little look at my build and see what I'm doing wrong here. I don't have anything else. That's all I got. That's all there is. There isn't anymore.
Feel my wrath.
Feel my wrath. Feel my wrath. Alright, take a look here and see if there's any passives that I am severely missing in this plan. That would be useful. That would also be useful. Guess we're gonna start filling that up a little bit. Does not look like we're gonna get to a boss today. Sadly, I've been dying too much. Let's go back and do some easy ones. Well, easier ones. pumping out the damage. I gotta get chat back. Where'd you guys go? Here we are. I'm back. But I mean, for example, oh yeah, fireball. Yeah. But when you're channeling a fireball, it's talking about button presses. So every third button press, the thing's a crit. I'm like trying to think if that's actually how it's gonna work in game, because fireball might be cast from the creator. I can't remember. Maybe this is asked, but with all those massive things coming in just in beta, what are you guys planning on doing for power creep? I mean, there's always like we're not adding in a new slot for these things. So like if you put one of them in, you gotta take something else out. I will say that the planned hardest content in the game is still not really available yet. Like the shaper level boss fight's not there yet. The Uber Elder level boss fight's not there yet. You know, that sort of thing. Every third fire spell you cast. Okay, I did not implement this item. I will have to go check to confirm what I'm going to say, but the way I'm reading that is every third time you press a fire spell button, that spell is crit. If you're right and type in third true transformation and throw that up. No? Will you add canceling to spells? Every single skill in the game that has a use duration, you can cancel that spell, orb walking, as many people call it. So there is a different, we call it as a set a low priority ratio. There's a different ratio for every single skill in the game. So some of them will lock you in longer than others, but usually they'll lock you in for like the first little bit of it, and then like if it's say like something basic like an attack that has a melee attack that has a follow through, it like locks you in until like the contact point, and then the follow through you can move. Lots of movement skills can now cancel things that they couldn't before as well. So like, for example, you can lunge out of Warpath, where you couldn't before, without letting go of the Warpath button. If this is something you guys can talk about, except from the Kickstarter campaign, like Ellie... Oh crap, don't die. Campaign, is Ellie like self-funded, or does EHG also get money from other sources so you guys continue working like forever? I can't really go into details of all this sort of stuff. I'm sorry, I know I'm gonna say something wrong if I even say anything about this at all. Why do some movement skills require a target while others do not? So that, like, mechanically unique movement skills, just mechanically unique skills in general, is something that we really try to strive for, especially when skills are really similar. We try and find ways to make them mechanically different from each other. So, like the two that are the closest together are transplant and teleport. And the mechanical difference there is transplant does damage at base and costs health, whereas teleport costs just mana and doesn't do any damage. Thank you, TNY, who's gifted Arborus a sub. Wonderful. Wonderful. Arborus has been around for a very long time. If you want to hear Kickstarter horror stories, that's who you ask. So yeah, also, so like lunge requiring a target. Lunge is a much lower cooldown skill than a lot of the other movement skills, and it's really fast, and it deals damage. Like, it's got a lot going for it. It has very really high range. Lots of fantastic things. It needs some sort of drawback to not just be broken, right? Also, some sort of mechanical difference to make it feel different than just teleport or transplant, right? And then also, we want to try and have ways to make it different from other movement skills on the same class. Like, Sentinel now has 3 movement skills, actually. Well, it will. And they're all different. So there's, like... And the third that you might be like, what? New movement skill? It's Void Cleave. It's a very short hop. But the... Lunge having a movement skill is the theming on that is it's an initiation skill. So you're initiating combat, you're lunging to a target. It's about like this armored class that's getting into the thick of things quickly, rather than mage repositioning in combat for a better angle at the target or staying alive and surviving. You know, like there's different uses for these skills and things that are really intended to be unique the way they work. Favorite My Little Pony? I am so sorry. I only actually know the name of one of them. So my favorite one is Rainbow Dash. It's the only one whose name I know. Are these the only unique idols coming to the patch? Or just a couple of them? I know there's a good number of uniques in 8.3. I do not know if these are the only unique idols or not. I am sorry. Yeah. There might be more. I don't actually know. I have not looked at the new unique item list in a couple days, and I feel like these just got thrown in very recently. Just gonna close that window. Okay. But I think we are pretty well done for the day here. We're at closing time. You all have been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much. We will continue next week, same time, same place. We're gonna get this finished, and I'm gonna have at least one blessing for all the timelines, and then we might look at upping some of them so they're less bad. Will Void Cleave have a node for no cooldown? I don't think so. You can get the cooldown pretty low, though. Alright. Thank you all very much. Have a good day. Stay fantastic. Where do you go say hi to someone? Oh, here's someone that's got a unique item coming this patch. I think it's coming this patch. I say these things and then it just, spirals out of control. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. If you have any questions that you didn't get answered today that you want to have answered, stop by our Discord, Ask the Devs channel. I'm around very frequently. If not, someone else will be, and we're happy to answer your questions. See you later. Have a good day.